Okay, we've all had that moment, right? You're mid-recipe, things are heating up literally, and boom, the sauce breaks. Or you blank on a ratio.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and you need that one piece of advice, like right now, not a whole chapter.
Exactly. And that's where today's source comes in. It's Julia's kitchen wisdom. It's not, a massive cookbook. Think of it more like her personal cheat sheet.
A cheat sheet, I like the sound of that. Compiled from her own kitchen battles.
Pretty much. Years of trial and error, finding what actually works when things go sideways. It's described as a mini aid memoir.
So our goal today is extracting those core principles, those little nuggets that really build confidence fast. Because, as the book stresses, it's not just about following steps blindly.
Precisely. The whole philosophy really is about mastering technique. Julia says it herself. Once you have mastered a technique, you hardly need to look at a recipe again.
Freedom from the recipe book. I like that.
And the book's laid out that way too. It groups things by how you cook them, like all the crepe recipes are together, focusing on the method.
Makes sense. So where does this technique first approach begin? Foundational stuff, I imagine.
Absolutely. Right at the base.
Yeah.
Stocks. And Julia draws a really interesting line in the sand here, terminology-wise.
Oh, between stock and broth. I feel like people use those interchangeably.
They do often. But for Julia, stock means the homemade stuff, the long-simmered, usually bone-based liquid.
Okay.
Whereas broth or bouillon, she uses those terms for pretty much anything else, fresh or, importantly, canned.
Huh.
It's a subtle quality signal.
Ah, interesting. And let's be real, sometimes canned broth is just necessary. Does she offer any way to disguise that fact? Make it taste less canny?
She does. A great little trick. Just take your canned broth, pour it in a pot, and simmer it for, say, 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
Throw in a handful of finely minced carrot, onions, celery, maybe a splash of white wine or dry vermouth if you have it. It just rounds out the flavor, takes out that edge.
Nice. A simple upgrade. All right, so we have our base liquid sorted. Next logical step in French cooking, the mother sauces.
You got it. The source details a couple, but let's focus on two big ones, Béchamel and Hollandaise.
Okay, Béchamel, the white sauce. What's the common problem there? That skin that forms on top?
Exactly that. Super annoying.
Mm.
But she has two simple ways to prevent it.
Lay it on me. How do we keep it smooth?
Well, option one is just diligence. Stir it every few minutes as it cools. Keeps the surface moving.
Makes sense.
Option two, if you need to hold it longer, it's actually kind of cool. You gently float a thin film of milk or stock right on the surface.
Float it. How?
You just fill a big spoon with liquid, tip it level with the sauce surface, and let the liquid slide off gently. Use the back of the spoon to spread it out. It creates a little protective layer.
Clever. Okay, but now the dreaded Hollandaise separation, that moment of panic when it just curdles and looks oily.
The bane of brunch, yes. It's basically an emulsion breakdown. But the good news is it's often fixable. The source gives a fantastic rescue plan.
Please tell me it doesn't involve throwing it out and starting over. What's the secret? More butter. More heat.
No, neither. It's about acidity and careful reintroduction. So first, let the broken sauce sit a sec. Let the oil separate a bit.
Okay.
Then grab a clean bowl. Put 1 tablespoon of lemon juice in it. Whisk that lemon juice like crazy until it's foamy.
Foamy lemon juice. Got it.
Now, the crucial part. Very, very slowly, like drop by drop at first, whisk the separated sauce back into that foamy lemon juice.
So the lemon juice becomes the new base for the emulsion.
Exactly. It provides the stability to bring the fat and egg back together. You're essentially rebuilding it. Takes the fear right out of it.
That is genuinely useful. Okay, from sauce rescues to vegetables. Julia apparently simplifies vegetable cooking too, based on the goal.
Right. It's not about the specific vegetable so much as what you want from it. Primarily, bright color or concentrated flavor.
Okay, 2 paths. Let's start with color. Green beans, asparagus, that kind of thing.
For those, you need the blanch boil system. And this involves, well, a ton of water. Like 6 to 8 quarts for just 2 pounds of beans.
Whoa, 6 to 8 quarts. Why on earth so much water?
It's all about temperature stability. You need that massive volume of rapidly boiling water, so when you dump the cold veggies in, the temperature barely drops.
Ah, okay.
That immediate intense heat blast is what stops the enzymes that dull the green color. If the water cools down too much, the color fades. And you need lots of salt, too, about 1.5 teaspoons per quart.
Gotcha. Quick, intense heat, and then
Then drain immediately and plunge into ice water, the cold shock. That sets the color and stops the cooking, keeps them crisp.
Right, the classic blanching technique. Okay, so that's for color. What about the other path, flavor concentration, like for root vegetables?
Exactly. Carrots, turnips, onions,
Yeah.
things where vibrant color isn't the main goal. Here, she uses the boil steam system. It's the opposite approach.
How so?
You use a small amount of liquid, just enough to maybe come halfway up the vegetables in the pot. You cover them and cook until tender.
Oh.
Then, the key step, uncover and boil off most of that remaining cooking liquid. It concentrates all the flavor that leached out, and that becomes your glaze or sauce base. Nothing wasted.
So you capture the flavor instead of pouring it down the drain. Smart.
Very practical.
And speaking of practical details, there's a specific tip about prepping leeks, right? They can be so gritty.
Oh yeah, absolutely crucial. Don't just wash the outside. You must slit the leek lengthwise, usually into quarters, stopping near the root end. Then wash it under cold running water, really fanning out the layers to get all that hidden sand and dirt out.
Slit first, then wash. Got it. That same level of precision must apply to cooking proteins too. Sautéing, for example. Quick, but easy to mess up.
Totally. And Julia boils it down, pardon the pun, to 3 absolute rules for a successful sauté. Non-negotiable.
Okay, lay them on me. Rule number 1.
Dry the food. Completely.
Yeah.
Thoroughly. Pat it with paper towels. If it's damp, it will steam, not brown. You lose all that lovely Maillard reaction flavor. Sometimes dredging in flour helps absorb extra moisture too.
Dry food. Check. Rule number 2.
Heat the pan. Properly hot. High heat. You wait until the butter foam starts to die down, or if you're using oil, until it's shimmering, almost smoking. Not hot enough. Food sticks, cooks slowly, gets greasy.
Hot pan. Check. And rule number 3 sounds like the clincher.
This is the one people mess up most often. Don't crowd the pan. Leave space between the pieces, like a 1/4 inch minimum. If they're touching, the pan cools down, moisture gets trapped, and again, you're steaming, not sautéing.
Right. Steam instead of sear.
Yep. If your pan isn't big enough, you have to cook in batches. No way around it.
Dry food, hot pan, don't crowd. That's the mantra. Okay, switching gears from quick sauté to big roasts. Seems more forgiving, but Julia simplifies this too.
She kind of waves away the complexity. A roast is a roast is a roast, she says. Basically meaning the core method is similar for most large cuts. Get the heat right, monitor the internal temp, sure. But the absolute key step she emphasizes.
Let me guess. Resting it.
You got it. A mandatory 15 to 20-minute rest before carving. It's not optional.
And why is that rest so important again? Seems like everyone says it, but why?
Because cooking pushes all the juices towards the surface of the meat. Resting lets those juices redistribute back into the muscle fibers. If you carve it straight out of the oven, all that flavor just pours out onto your cutting board.
Okay, so patience equals juiciness. Makes sense.
It's the difference between a dry roast and a perfect one.
All right, we've tackled liquids, veggies, proteins. Let's hit eggs and dough, things that require real precision. The French omelet, notorious for speed.
Oh yeah, pure speed. She calls it the shake and jerk system. You need a dedicated nonstick pan, ideally. For a basic 2 or 3 egg omelet, the whole cooking process should take, like, 20 seconds.
20 seconds, serious.
Seriously. It's about high heat and that specific rapid back and forth jerking motion.
Okay.
It throws the setting egg against the far side of the pan, making it roll over itself into that classic shape. It cooks almost instantly.
Wow. Okay, practice required there.
Mhm.
Now, the opposite end of the egg spectrum, hard-boiled, specifically peeling them, the eternal struggle. Julia had a system.
She had a system she called cumbersome, but admitted it pretty well solves the problem. It's elaborate, involves multiple temperature shocks.
Cumbersome but effective. I'm intrigued. What are the steps?
Okay, get ready. Step 1, take your raw egg, pierce a little pinhole in the large end. Helps release pressure, supposedly.
Okay.
Step 2, put the eggs in water, bring to a rolling boil. Immediately remove from heat, cover the pot, and let them sit for exactly 17 minutes.
17 minutes, precise then.
Step 3, straight into ice water, chill them for 2 minutes solid. This shock supposedly makes the egg contract slightly from the shell.
Boiling, sitting, chilling, feels like we should be done.
Not quite. This is the wild part. Step 4, take those chilled eggs and put them back into the original cooking water, which you've brought back to a rolling boil for exactly 10 seconds.
Wait, back into boiling water for 10 seconds, after chilling them.
Yep. The theory is this final quick heat blast makes the shell expand away from the cold egg white, making it easier to peel after they cool down again.
Wow, that is dedication. I might just accept a slightly ragged egg, but props to her for figuring that out.
It's definitely a process. Shows her level of detail, though.
No kidding. Okay, finally, doughs. Pâte brisée, pie crust, and crepes. Temperature and time seem key here too.
Absolutely. For pâte brisée, the short crust pastry, the #1 rule is keep it chilled. All caps in the book, I think.
Why is cold so critical?
It's full of butter. As it warms up, the butter softens, the dough gets sticky, tears easily, possible to roll. If that starts getting soft while you work, just stop. Shove it back in the fridge for 20 minutes, let it firm up and relax.
Chill is king for pastry. What about crepe batter? Does that need chilling?
Not chilling, but resting. It's essential. After you whisk it up, you have to let it sit. About 10 minutes if you use instant flour, more like 30 minutes for regular all-purpose flour.
And the resting does what?
It lets the flour particles fully absorb the liquid, hydrate properly. If you cook it right away, the crepes can be kind of tough or tear easily. Resting ensures they're tender and delicate.
Got it. Rest the batter. Okay, so we've gone from stock fundamentals to sauce rescues, vegetable strategies, sauté rules, roast resting, egg extremes, and dough discipline. It really feels like having this kind of knowledge is the real shortcut.
That's the core message, I think. The recipes are examples, but the techniques are the keys. Like Julian, if you understand why you heat the pan or why you rest the roast or how to fix that broken sauce, you're not tied to the page anymore. You can cook more freely, more confidently.
That freedom is the goal. And thinking about those sauté rules, especially drawing the food, it leads to a really interesting final point Julia makes. It kind of shifts the blame sometimes.
Ah, you mean about the scallops?
Exactly. We stressed rule #1, dry the food for sautéing, but the source points out some seafood, especially scallops, are treated with a phosphate solution, sometimes called plumped.
Right, they soak up water or a saline solution, makes them heavier, way more at the market.
But the problem comes when you try to cook them. That solution just weeps out under heat.
Makes a proper sauté totally impossible. No matter how dry you pat the outside or how hot your pan is, they just end up steaming in their own released liquid. You can't get a sear.
So it raises this fascinating final thought. How often do we blame our technique when the real problem is the raw material itself?
It's a great question. Next time you're buying scallops, maybe specifically ask the fishmonger for dry scallops ones that haven't been treated. See if it makes a difference.
Yeah, maybe some of our kitchen failures aren't failures of skill at all, but failures of sourcing. Something to think about. Go forth and demand quality ingredients.